Good evening. I am here again on a Sunday evening. It's quite unusual to see me doing this. And if you look to the left, or my right, which is your left, you see I have company. Tonight we are here just to have our little discussion. But before we go any further, I always like to put my disclaimer out there. The intent and purpose of this program is not to embarrass, disgrace the government in any way, shape, or form. We just discuss our issues, the issues that is of concern to us, which is the issue of crime. That's what plagued in our island, and we will try with the best of our ability to find solution because that is the sole purpose of this program. And I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe to this. By the way, today is my birthday. Give me some like, some share, and all that you can give me. It's my birthday. Um, Good evening, Sir Brown.
Good evening, Sir Sutherland.
All right.
Happy birthday
Yes.
to you again.
Thank you, guys. I know this face is not so unfamiliar because Mr. Brown has appeared on the show before as guest. I think about twice, and so tonight I see it fit. Election is in the year. Nothing is going on. Actually, if you look around me, you see I'm in a different space. I'm out here in Jamaica doing my thing. Maybe not in my era where I originally visit because I'm on a what you call birthday celebration type of thing. So I'm doing things different. And of course, with the best of my ability, I will cover some of the election if I can. But as you know, I'm not. This is not really a political platform. It's just one concern that we have, and we discuss it, and it is crime. Sir Brown is actually an attorney who become a great friend of mine over the past month or so, and we have been very much passionate about the situation that facing the island. So that's why we are here. Thank you, Maxine. Like and share. Yes, and so we are passionate about this whole thing that is taking place in Jamaica as it relates to the crime. I may have mentioned before the reason why I am not back home in Jamaica because of fear of the crime thing. So that's why Attorney Brown and I are sitting here tonight, and many other guys that you would have seen me sit with. It's just to dissect and try to find solution for the problem in Jamaica. Sir Brown, everything blessed?
Everything is blessed, my friend.
All right, all right. It's
It's
so
good to
nice
have
to
you on
have
the
you.
island.
Yeah, man. I'm on the island. I just want to make it clear, though, I'm not here to vote. As some people ask me when they saw me, "Are you here to vote?" No. I'm not doing the voting thing at all. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because it's my birthday today, and I just decided I want to celebrate it in my island. There has been last year I did not come here for my birthday because it's the same fear and all of that. But this time, since I get hit this platform, I spoke to quite a few people who encouraged me and strengthened me and said, "Man, go home for your birthday." But I'm not actually at my home, but I'm on the island, so I am here doing my thing. So tonight we're going to just discuss the same crime issue because that's what I want. I don't want it to seem like I beat a dead horse that we are beating. We are in pursuit of solution, and every time that we get an opportunity to broadcast and put forward a solution, we do that, and I'm just hoping that it fall on the right. And that's the objective of what we're doing. And like I said, Sir Brown and I share the same sentiment. So we're there and we're doing things. So what go on?
All right. There to talk to me.
Well, I don't know. I have seen quite a few traffic jam and a result of the campaign. A bunch of lawlessness. People hanging outside at the windows of vehicle and all that. And it just don't make any sense to me that it's okay to break the law around this time. But again, it's what come with the political celebration and campaign. So I'm allowing them to deal with their thing. So I'm just criticizing that piece.
Well, I think that it's just a part of culture. That has
Yeah.
been going on for years, unless there's a shift in paradigm in terms of public safety and so forth. rule of law, that will always happen.
Yeah, you know what I like about what I'm seeing though, you would have seen a lot of interaction with people of different wearing their colors,
Okay.
and you see interactions. There's no political, animosity. I don't detect anything like that, and I have not heard anyone talk about anything of that sort. Which is, I think that's a shift from the 1980s. So I think we're in a better place as it
That's
relates
good
to
to know.
that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, so we just want to get in some crime conversation and thing, because that's where my main focus is. That's what this podcast is about. So so let me ask you this, Sir Brown.
You mind if I start the ball rolling with the
No, you,
introduction?
you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. Feel
Because
free.
I know that you were saying, reiterating the reason you're doing this. And I had sort of prepared, a question or two and
Okay.
incorporate some of the questions you had from the last podcast and a previous
Okay.
podcast, right? So
Yes.
if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you this,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sutherland, why are you having podcasts on solutions for Jamaica's violent crime problems? And was there a spiritual aspect to your podcast?
Yeah, man. For those of you who I'm glad you asked me that question. For those of you who would have seen this part of the show, the original birth of the show, was and it started on a Sunday morning where I would discuss my spirituality, and of course, I graduated to where I was interviewing pastors, and I'm still not moving away from that. It's just that I get a little bit busy, and this crime thing it take up a lot of my time. So that's why I'm not doing it. But yes, there is indeed a spiritual base to this. It started, and before I get into the crime, still have the same concern. The person that I used to do it with, we have common interests, want to go back to come back to Jamaica or all that, and so it was always in the back of what we're doing. But spirituality was always. We can't. I don't see it make no sense. We're moving forward. Anything that we're doing without the spiritual side of life. No, I don't see it, because this life it's not about just us and the things that we need. God is always in the middle, and we have to remember that.
Okay, thank you. You see,
Yeah.
go
Hey,
ahead.
go ahead. Why you ask? Go
No,
ahead.
why I asked the latter part of the question, right? There's a
Mhm.
reason. No, I am mindful of from a Jamaican constitutional perspective,
Mhm.
in a democracy, of the freedom of thought and expression and worship, right? And
Right.
even though Jamaica is a strong Christian country, right? You have
Yes.
diversity of faith, right?
Mhm.
So I want to be careful that I'm not trying to speak as if I'm ignorant of that, right? But what I asked is, Wednesday night, I had a very serious dream, right?
Right.
And I'm someone who, to a certain extent, I'm a dreamer, right? And
Right.
as a result of that, I asked you because the dream had a direct relation on this crime scenario and
Mhm.
your podcast. So that's why I asked the question.
Wow.
On that note, I will ask you this, a follow-up question or two. Are you ashamed of Jamaica's national anthem?
Oh, come on, man. How could I be ashamed of a national anthem, man? No. One of the most powerful anthem in the world. How could I be ashamed of it? I mean, when you think of what the anthem is saying and what we're doing, I'm not so happy where we are, because we divert from what the anthem is saying. But yes, I'm certainly not ashamed of my anthem. I'm a proud Jamaican, stand up proud. And I think when you think that it's not just an anthem, but you see our national pledge as well. Come on, man. We have. I want to go back. I did research the other day and see where it originated from. And I'm saying these people, Jamaica was always a spiritual place. When you think about our national anthem and our national pledge. I don't know if you ever gone through the pledge in recent time.
Yes,
It
yes.
is really
I agree with
indeed
you.
powerful. I must share this with you too. This morning when I wake up, where I'm at, it's just nothing but gospel song everywhere you can go everywhere as far as career, because there's no noise abatement act here that I know of. So everywhere you go, you would have heard the loud gospel music playing all over the island, all over the island. And I find that to be so profound. We are indeed a spiritual person, people. And like I said, I'm proud of the national anthem that we really
Okay.
have.
Well, the follow-up question to that is, I think I can anticipate your answer, but I need to ask you to set the predicate. Are you ashamed of the Lord Jesus Christ?
No, man, you can't be ashamed of the Lord Jesus Christ, man. Oh, come on. If you understand where from where we came, we are supposed to be proud, and be grateful that He had sacrificed for us, all the sacrifice that was made for us. We are here, and you know what I think, for me, when I and even that contribute to me being on this podcast. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, because I'm still searching for my purpose, why I was placed here by Him. I just don't want to be one of the persons that exists, and that's why I participate in the things that I'm doing. And I'm delighted to even have a person like you that is asking me all these questions, because questions like these I really, really, really need to answer, because I need my audience to be aware of my level of spirituality. You know what I'm saying?
It's
It's very
interesting that you
important.
answer it that way in terms of, I wasn't aware of what you just said. Like you're still, well, we're all trying to find our purpose, or be established in our purpose, right?
Yes.
Especially as believers. So it's interesting you asked or you made a statement, because you remind me of a friend of mine. Actually, that's my best friend in the US
Uh-huh.
here. We served together in the United States military. And it's like a spiritual relationship that developed in a space which can have a significant influence through the life of Christ on the country, on
Right.
America here. And I
Right.
perceive in terms of, I mean, coincidentally, you have the same first name, right?
Right.
And our
Wow.
interaction so far, especially talking about the crime, I'm praying that this is sort
Right.
of divine encounter that somehow in this season can help to kind of change Jamaica and be a catalyst, if you will, for that
Right. Right.
transformation that we're seeking to change to fix Jamaica's crime problem.
Yes, most definitely. So, Maxine would want you to expound on that, the question of national anthem. Why? I guess you want to know why you would ask the question to me about the national anthem.
Well, the national anthem has always been an inspiration for me from when I was a child growing up in Jamaica. And I see it as a prayer to God seeking blessings. So if we are seeking blessings and this anthem is sung, I mean, so many times, there must be a connection between the prayer that we are asking of God and our fixing our current problem.
Well, I want us as a people, Jamaican, to get away from this singing the national anthem and saying the national pledge, and listen and pay more attention to the words and what the words are saying. I think we just practice it, and we go over these words and don't really try to dissect it and see the meaning, or what they're actually saying, put it that way. But let me ask you a question, if you allow me.
Well,
Right?
that's what we're here for, to talk.
I hope you don't think me happy pie, But why do you appear at this podcast?
Well, okay. Let me answer you. And let me say here, right? Before I answer, being aware, right, of questions and potential questions, I hazards of profession, right? I kind of wrote out some answers, but
Okay.
the main reason is that I don't wish to be misquoted, right?
Right.
I don't want anyone to say something I did not say. I can't stop you from misinterpreting what I said, right? I understand that.
Yeah.
But because of that, I just want to read and stick to a script, and I'm confident that I didn't misstate or say something that I did not intend to say, right?
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
as to the question why I appear on this podcast,
Uh-huh.
I can say that I am appearing on this podcast and I've appeared on previous podcasts, at least two podcasts before, right?
Yeah. Before. Yes.
To participate in the efforts to effect solutions for Jamaica's crime problems.
Right. Right. Right.
After I finished law school, I have been interacting with friends and former colleagues, meaning former JCF members, because I was in the JCF, right,
Right.
in Jamaica and overseas, regarding solutions for Jamaica's crime problems.
Mm-hmm.
Various Jamaicans living overseas, including you, have
Right.
expressed the fear of returning to live in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So I am making another effort to help.
All right. Thank you. I must say thank you, though. And not just thank you for the effort. I want to thank you for serving Jamaica to in the JCF. I just want most my not most, but my audience to understand and know that you were actually a part of the JCF. So when I have real crime question, probably you are the best person for me to ask.
You know something? You are the
Mm.
first person who has ever said that to me. And I thank you very much. Because in America, we're used to people saying, thank you for your service. So I've heard that
Yes.
so many times from Americans. It's the first time a Jamaican has ever said to me, thank you for
No,
serving.
man, I honestly take, I take policing very, 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 very serious. I know police had, and not all, I know people will challenge that, but I just think it's a sacrifice in many cases that when a person joined the JCF, especially in the type, in Jamaica, how we are, lawlessness and all that we have to deal with, it's really a sacrifice that every day that you put yourself out there. And that's why I really, when I said to you that I thank you, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really, really, really appreciate all police officers who have serve, and I mean, I'm not talking about, because I still assume, which is probably not a good thing, that some people just join the force the opportunity, and not for the true organic purpose of it. But my interaction with you over the past months, I would have seen that you participate in the JCF because you want to be a part of the solution of the protect and to serve and even to fight our crime situation, because it's been around for a while. So
You
I
know,
know. Mm,
I'm sorry to go, but you're right, Even those who serve, right, just for
mhm,
or join just for an opportunity. I mean, they became a part of the JCF and
mhm.
even found their purpose within the JCF. I
Right.
guess the problems you might have are those who join and they're like the miscreants, and over the years their conduct or misconduct, I would say, have given the JCF a bad name. But I
Yeah.
understand that the JCF is improving, so that's good.
Oh, well, I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna ask you. I was say, is the Jamaican police is doing better job at intercepting illegal guns entering the country? From the things that you have read and hearing coming out of Jamaica, and of course I have a podcast on that a few days ago.
Yes, you did have that podcast Wednesday night, right?
Right,
And
Wenson.
in addition to the dream that I had Wednesday night, based upon the contents of the podcast, that's why I was guided to write my answer so I can answer in a precise way. So the question is Jamaican police doing a better job of intercepting illegal guns entering the country? My answer is yes. On your last podcast, the two
Hmm.
panelists living in Jamaica commended the JCF on the recent discovery of guns in Jamaica.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, there was an immediate debunking of their recommendations, saying that finding guns is not new in Jamaica and the discovery of the guns was not a great work. If Dr. Ivy, who recently received a ticket from the JSF for body protrusion, took the opportunity to commend the JSF on its recent discovery of guns, it is very unfortunate that anyone would refuse to immediately commend the JCF. So I take this opportunity to commend the JCF on its recent firearms and ammunition discovery.
Yeah, man, I share that same sentiment, because I was moderating. I wasn't saying much in that regard, but I think the JFCF, they're doing a good job. I heard that they'd get some equipment. I forgot the name of it. I was told by Ronnie, the type of equipment. It's more like a extra equipment that they're using now, and that's how they're detecting all these things. And I am hearing that some effort being put in place to protect the border, the things that are coming in. Congratulations from me as well. Okay, Maxine is saying congratulations. Yeah, man. So I think the JCF is doing a great job. I have been on the island. I have seen some little difference too, and I'm hearing something. So I'm just wondering what is causing the gradual shift in the JCF. I don't know. I don't know what is causing it. I wish I could. Blessings, Richard. Yes, man.
Well,
Blessings,
I might
blessings.
give an opinion. I mean,
Yeah, go
but I
ahead.
take it that you're agreeing that the JCF is doing a better job, right? Based
Yes,
upon
man. I honestly think there has been improvement. I think they're buying into the technology the technological tools. I think we were for many years they've been there's many things that is absent. The reality is that we are a third world country, so there's many things that is really absent from us as it relates to crime fighting tools. But I think somebody eyes open and they start seeing something, and there has been a shift. But I think though, I don't know. They're getting maybe equipment and tools now, vehicle and all that. But I'm wondering, I'm still concerned about the culture within the JCF, if you understand what I'm saying.
perfectly.
Because I mean, some time ago you and I had spoke about the shift in 1993. You know what I'm saying? And I know the culture in the JCF has been tarnished ever since. So I'm just wondering if there's something that is happening. But I don't really think so when you think about it. When you have Indicom that is really pressuring the JCF, and the state not protecting them as much as they should. So I don't know if it's that they're utilizing the tool that they have, or are there is indeed a shift in the culture. I don't
Well,
know.
I think, inconsistent with the opinion that I have, I could
Hmm.
respond to something you just said, right? I think
Hmm.
there's a strengthening of institution. Indicom for one, right? Indicom wasn't there when I was in office, a cop there, right? But I've
Right.
read the statute, the act. I understand its application. I'm very conversant with the effect on members because they have told me, their perception of Indicom or it interferes with actual policing, right? So if you remember the first time I was on the show, right, I
Right.
explained that Indicom is necessary. You need an oversight, right? An
Yeah,
external
man.
oversight,
Most
right?
definitely.
Based upon the history of Jamaican policing also, right? Now, as to how it's operating, I can say because I'm not there, right? But I think the strengthening of that institution sort of goes to lift the standard of policing to a certain extent. Also, I think the leadership of the current commissioner, even though they're still struggling with numbers, the fact is there was a decrease in violent crime.
7%. Uh-huh.
Right. So I think quietly his leadership, because even though we were saying the Macmillan effect is what pretty much mash up the JCF, right?
Yeah, man. I
Mr.
think it
Anderson,
damages JCF. Yeah.
yeah, but Mr. Anderson is a military man also, but it's not the same type of leadership from my understanding, right? So I think his leadership
Yeah,
probably
but no, sorry to cut you, but
okay.
he did not have the problem that Mr. Macmillan walked into. When Mr. Macmillan came, there was internal issue within the JCF still.
Mhm.
But I think he had dealt with that, but then he went on to further,
You mean Mr.
you know,
Macmillan?
yes, Mr. Macmillan,
Mhm.
because remember there was a lot of things that was happening in the JCF at the time. There were many people were like, well, let me say, abusing their power.
True.
Abusing their power at the time, and I think he came to fix that. But I think in the process he actually damaged the
Yeah,
JCF.
we discussed at length on our first one of those programs, and it's true. But I
Yeah,
think Mr. Anderson has done a good job in terms of structure because he has good administrative skills. There will always be internal friction within the JCF, right? But you work out, you look at issues as you go along. So I think the JCF is in a better place because of stronger institution and more cohesivity in leadership.
right. You know, let me just respond, ask a question to you from Maxine. She's wondering why Jamaican police don't have tasers. I don't know if they do, you know. I know they didn't for a long time. And hey, I want to talk about that a little bit. Um, People always talk about Jamaica, and you remember back in the days, she shooting this and shooting that. But at the time, the only thing that they had to fight crime was a gun. And I know you as a police back in the days would have known you have your gun at your back, but the button is so much it wouldn't be as effective in some cases, so and a lot of time a lot of time in those days you see many police did not have it in their button. The only thing they have to defend themselves is a gun. And I think that to me is too aggressive of a tool, in certain cases. But what else more pulling can pull at you, sir? If you understand what I say.
I understand what you're saying. In the Jamaican context, though, giving the frequent use of guns by violent people in society, it's understandable why Jamaican cops relied on their guns to defend themselves and protect the public.
Right. Sometimes I just think it's a little bit extreme, but the truth is where we are now, where every little man have something for them waist, whether it's legal or illegal, and because a lot of guys have it even legally, but they don't know how to use it. The laws of it, how and when to use it. So,
as you were saying, in the last podcast, we discussed the gun culture, and even Dr. Ivy pointed out that it's a bad thing because every little man has a gun to sort of,
yes,
tell himself that he's somebody.
Right. I don't know if I asked this question. I want to ask you a question though. Given the state of the Jamaica police apparatus, do the criminal in the country see police as a deterrent? I want you to answer that question.
Well, I anticipated that question, so I have the scripted response, which I want to give. The answer is no. Any government, JLP or PNP, will face strong resistance to bring down crime because crime pays in Jamaica.
Can you break that down when you say crime pays? What do you mean? Because I asked Dr. Ivy that the other day, and he said I think his answer was no. Why do you think crime pays?
No to what?
Huh?
That answer was no to what?
That you don't think that crime pays?
Okay.
Are people
well, I understand why Dr. Ivy would say no. And for that reason, I also will differ on my answer in this forum because people understand what crime is in Jamaica and how the monster of crime operates.
Right.
know that crime pays, but it's not so kosher to talk about that publicly. So I will pass on that at this moment and just follow up and say there will indeed be strong resistance to the effort to bring crime under control. The resistance will not only be from thugs and common criminals, but also from influential Jamaicans who pay lip service to fixing the problem of crime, though they secretly seek to maintain the status quo.
Wow. I guess I was gonna ask those questions and you're really prepared. But I know what I like about your preparation, you do your research and you analyze stuff. You're not just talking from something that comes to mind. So I always value the things that you said. But because we're strapped for time, I have a few more questions I want to ask if you don't mind.
No, go ahead. We're talking.
Okay. All right. Probably I should have answered this question, but me I gonna ask you the question. I'm gonna ask you the question. Are the people in Jamaica as concerned about violent crime as the Jamaican living in overseas?
I'm not sure. Jamaicans living in Jamaica say that crime and corruption are Jamaica's biggest problems. Yet, they also seem defensive or accepting of crime as an inevitable way of life in Jamaica.
Mm.
Jamaicans, however, can acknowledge that crime is a threat to Jamaica's stability and economic progress. Crime is not merely confined to specific geographic areas in Jamaica.
Mm-mm.
Crime is not simply a street level problem. Crime is developed within Jamaica's ecosystem of corruption.
Yes.
There is a need for continued legislative reforms to combat crime, and there is a need for more financial allocations to national security, including the justice system.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Um, let me I think you have that nailed at the Jamaican well the truth is, for me, I I have sense where the Jamaicans are not as concerned. I was surprised that on one at for a podcast when I spoke about the crime situation. I was contacted by quite a few people about it because I guess many people don't like the topic of crime sometimes. They think that we are, putting down the country, and stuff like that. And one person told me that there's no crime here. The one person told me that there's no crime here.
Okay.
I was shocked. I was shocked to hear that. So I cannot speak for the Jamaican in general, but I don't think we all share the same sentiment as it relates to the crime. I think people are living overseas are very much more concerned about it because they are not seeing it on a day-to-day basis. When they hear about it, it sounds more graphic, and when you're hearing about it, and the fear for their safety, always spike when you hear about stuff like that. So if I should measure, if I should use a device to measure that, I would think that we living in abroad have a greater concern about the crime situation.
Well, what I would say, why I answer that way, right? When I speak to Jamaicans living in Jamaica, as I said, they acknowledge that crime and corruption, those two things represent Jamaica's biggest problem. And if that could be fixed, Jamaica would be a very prosperous country, right? But at the
Right.
same time, I think why they cannot downplay it is as if maybe there's a helplessness associated with it to think that after so many years, decades, of these high numbers of murders and violence, they think that it's just the way, and it's like a coping
Yeah,
mechanism.
like it normalized.
Right.
It normalized. Yeah, man. I mean, I sense that. I sense that too. But how can let me before I even get to the next question, because I am here on my birthday talking about crime.
Mhm.
Evidently,
You know, not
it
for
is
them.
a big concern to me. I have a bunch of people upstairs
I
right
figure,
now.
I figure.
I have a bunch of people upstairs right now. Want to hang out with me, came to hang out with me, but because of the importance of the crime situation, I break away from them to be here and discuss something that is of vital importance to me. But this is one of the questions that I means a lot to me because I remember the shift in 1993. I remember the shift in 1993, and I know I spoken to my dad about it and stuff like that in 1993, and some things that he said I won't not repeat, but I know the JCF started to go down. But let me ask you the question and give you an opportunity to answer: how can the Macmillan effect reverse?
Well, that's really the question, the burning question to fix Jamaica's violent crime that we have right now. Okay, many people articulate different views, but I will tell you this. As a matter of fact, there's a question I think you had asked
Hmm.
on, I think it was the last podcast, that says, giving the state of the Jamaican police apparatus, do
Hmm.
the criminals in the country see the police as a deterrent? You had asked that question.
Right, right.
If I were on the panel, I'm not sure if I was on that panel, but either way, I can answer or reiterate.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
my answer would be no, right? The criminals do not see the police as a deterrent because of the Macmillan effect on the JCF. and the emboldening of criminals in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is how we can reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
It is to re-empower the police, right, to effectively enforce the law and combat
Mm-hmm.
violent crimes. But this part is important also while protecting the civil liberties of Jamaicans. That's how you reverse it, and that's how you bring Jamaica's numbers down significantly, even to the numbers that were in the 80s. That's how you do
So,
it.
so, so let me ask you this: you think that a time will come with effective policing alone, we can bring back the number down to the 80s? I'm just asking you.
The answer is yes, and with God, all things are possible because effective law enforcement with sustainable social and economic policies that benefit all Jamaicans can make a difference. And I must add this before
Mm-hmm.
the time of the great tribulation for all nations, because we are not operating in a vacuum, right?
Right.
And many people speak about some advance the causation of the violent crimes in Jamaica, but I
Mm-hmm.
see it as a correlation. The poverty, the need for health care, for education, those are not the causes of the violent crimes in Jamaica, right?
I
I
don't think so
mean,
either.
in a scenario where you have them, it makes it harder to manage. But when you implement proper law enforcement, right, you will bring down the violence, right? And then in the sphere of the wider governance responsibility of the government, they will have those kind of policies that help national development and help Jamaica to be a better place. But that's not my area of focus because that's more getting into politics and
Right.
taking it to
Yeah,
next
yeah,
level.
yeah, yeah.
My
I
focus
try to
is
stay away
how
from
you
that.
bring down the numbers. And Mr. Adams said he could do it in 6 months. I am not criticizing him because I know it can be done quickly.
With effective policing.
With effective policing.
Oh, man.
You know,
You know,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I'm just saying it's indeed a sweet conversation to me, for me, and
Before
the fact
finishing up, because I know you're going to head out, I don't want to take up.
I have some people that signal me.
I
I
see
see
that,
them.
right?
Yeah.
I admire your patriotism, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
your
Yes, sir.
commitment. But when we spoke some time ago, I think it was Thursday, when I think I told you about the dream I had, remember?
Right.
Right, and the context and all that. But you had mentioned something to me, and that's the comment. My name was invoked on that
Oh yes,
podcast,
yes.
right?
When Dr. Ivy
Right.
mentioned the name about
And
the
my
numbers.
response to you was, under this line and all that. But you're saying, no,
No, I
you
think
never
you should.
know.
Think you should address Dr. Ivy and that.
I,
You can
I,
do it
I,
right here because he will listen to it.
it was kind of interesting.
Hmm.
So I kind of had a response too, right?
Okay.
Before you were encouraging me to respond, right?
Yes, I told
So
you you should.
I will respond by raising this book here. It's the Bible, right?
Mhm.
And it contains the Tanakh, what we call the Old Testament,
Right.
and the Brit Hadasha, what we call the New Testament.
Right.
It's my guide, right? By which I live, I try, right? And also, I know you're distracted, but let us finish this up. And I mentioned,
I'm not distracted at all. I was just
okay,
responding.
well, you're looking up, you're looking in the good right direction, right? That's where our help come from, right? So what is this? I mentioned a friend of mine that I in the military, and it's a story about the Bible, right?
Yes.
And it's transformative power. But that's for another time, right?
Yes, sir.
So I will use 2 verses of scripture which I think they're relevant to respond to that comment that was
Okay.
made, right? Um, the first verse is, let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. And that is
Yes.
from Colossians 4, verse 6. The second one is, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father.
Yes.
First Timothy 5, verse 1. Dr. Ivy is an elder to me, and he's a model citizen.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he got a ticket, which we don't think was really, a proper ticket, but be that
Yeah.
as it may. I will say that the proposition that the shock of Jamaicans from 1981 to 1989 caused a significant and sustained reduction in crime requires a prayer to God for a national revival in Jamaica to destroy
Yes.
the flood of
Amen.
demonic
Amen.
strongholds. That is Jamaica's problem. That's why I talked about the national anthem. We need spiritual, divine intervention in the form of humans, you and I, and all the other peoples, even though we see it a different way. We have got to come together in unity and tackle this monster and defeat it, because we can defeat it with God's help.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much.
You're
That
welcome.
is profound. I know I would want to spend the rest of the night and talk about this. When you have 10 people
I
coming
know,
up and
yeah.
telling you this and telling you that, because they're actually having a
I
party
just
for
come
me.
from foreign.
I mean, just confirm. They're actually having a party for me. A
Okay,
whole heap of
okay.
food and something up there, so I go on and all sorts of stuff. And people even come from foreign for come at the party. So
Right,
I'm
right,
gonna
right.
get back to them. But this is very important to me, and I think it is. I should do it. And that's why I break away from what I was doing, because we spoke on Wednesday and said we were gonna do this. And that here I am, I'm doing it. It doesn't matter to me if my birthday or not. This is very important, because this can not just change my life, it can change many people's life. And that's what my objective is.
And
And
on
I'm
that
pretty sure
note,
it's here too.
I hope that my simple contribution, right, to this environment will help.
Yes,
Isaiah
sir.
Isaiah 55, I think, verse 3, one of those verses. It kind of reminds us that the word of God will not return void, right? But it will accomplish its purpose and provide blessings, however intends to give the blessings. So I pray that God will continue to bless Jamaica and the
Yes,
people
sir.
of Jamaica, and help Jamaica to overcome this problem that has been going on for years.
For years, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
And just you guys just like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Remember, it's my birthday, so share as much as you can, like as much as you can. Give me my birthday gift, guys. Take care. Sir Brown,
Yes,
I
sir.
was tempted to say Dr. Brown. I think you should get your
You
doctorate.
always say Dr. Brown.
Attorney Brown, it is indeed a pleasure, sir. It was indeed a pleasure sitting with you this evening and talk about the issues of our concern and many Jamaican concern. We will do this on Wednesday. I think we have a special guest for this Wednesday coming. I will definitely announce it. I don't know if it's safe to announce it, because I was supposed to make some arrangement this morning, but I did not do it. I spoke to the special guest, and it did not happen. Yesterday, I told him I would call today to make all the final touches on it, but I did not do it because I got real busy this morning. And I will get with my special guest tomorrow. But
I
anyways,
Before you finish, I don't know about your schedule. I know you arrange your program, but I
uh-huh.
remember, I think on the last time I was here, I also had made a statement that, oh, you had asked a question about strategic, like some
Yeah.
strategy, right? And I said I would invite
Yes,
a former crime fight. I don't know if that's the same person.
that's
You
what
don't
I'm
have to
talking about.
disclose it.
That's
That's
what
what
I'm
you're
talking
talking.
about.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I hope you'll be able to do so, because
Yes, sir.
when I said
That,
a
that,
former
that,
crime fighter, let me explain. There were two police officers who were like my mentor, right?
yes.
And one of them is a renowned, let me tell you plain, Trinity,
Yeah, you
right?
get it.
I
Trinity.
respect Trinity
You said that
so
last time.
so
Mm-hmm.
much, because you see, when I ask you if you are ashamed of the Lord Jesus Christ,
Yes.
Trinity made a significant impression on me as a bad man police, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
like I'm on that enforcer now.
well,
Name
yeah,
brand. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's a Jamaican jargon, but you're correct, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
anybody to misconstrue it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a very, diligent crime fighter, right? And
Mm-hmm.
once he asked me, he was an assistant superintendent at the time. I said, and it's because he talks like a fine voice, do you believe in Jesus? And I was surprised, because I never associate that expression of faith with Trinity, right? But this
Mm-hmm.
crime fighter, who I promise, I hope that
You
he will
recommend to
come.
me. Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's one of Jamaica's best. And I hope he comes on the show. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna make some final touches with it tomorrow. Again, thank
And
you.
by the way, the second person for me was Donald Pusey of blessed
Sir.
memory.
All right,
Okay.
sir. Blessings. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you for being a part of the podcast tonight. Guys, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Let our voices reach the four corners after Jamaica. Put it that way. Yeah, man. So all the best, Attorney Brown, and we'll talk soon. All
Okay.
right?
Enjoy
Man,
yourself.
love.
Enjoy your
I,
birthday.
I, I
All
will
right.
touch you tomorrow. I'll call you. I'll give
No
you a call
problem.
tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right.
Blessing,
Cool,
love.
cool.
All right. All the best, sir.
Take it
All right.
easy.
Good. Yeah, man. All right.